Hello. Today we're going to be changing the oil in a vehicle. Show you how to do it. You get your oil and your filter to your vehicle's specifications. The filter, these are a couple dollars at Walmart. You're going to need a filter wrench, like I said, $5, $6 at Walmart. You need something to catch the oil. So it's an oil pan. This is a little more expensive one, but you can get them for between $3 and $5 also at Walmart. Paper towel, gloves. I just use old shirts as shop rags, and you're gonna need a socket set as well. That's off camera right now, but all right, I'll show you how to change oil. All right, the first thing you're gonna do is get your vehicle up to temperature. So you're going to start it, let it run for a while. This one is warmed up. It's not the operating temperature, but it's warm. I was driving it earlier. And what I do on older vehicles, I don't have an oil change percentage marker, so I just use my Trip B for the oil change, and I usually change mine about every 4,000. Newer the vehicle, they have different specifications on when you change your oil and stuff, but usually the rule is around 3,000, but I usually go every 4,000. Depends on the oil too, but yeah, so I just reset my trip after every oil change for Trip B. So I'm going to reset my trip. The engine's warm, and now we're going to get to it. Certain vehicles have guards like this one right here. You're going to have to remove them and figure out which size bolts it is if you have a guard on yours. If not, some vehicles you can access them without them, but yeah, so I'm going to remove this one real quick. Alright, now that we got the guard removed, you can see where the oil filter is, and right underneath here was the oil pan where the drain plug is. But before that, I'll show you what to do. You're going to pop the hood. Before we drain the oil, you're going to take the cap off so it lets the oil flow more smoothly. And then we're going to go underneath and drain the oil. So I located the drain plug. It's right here. This specific model takes a 14 millimeter. So I got my ratchet here. You're going to need your drain pan right below it. You're going to have gloves ready because it gets all over. And I like to keep a shop rag or like a towel right near just in case, because it usually spills. You're going to loosen it. Takes a little bit, and then just remove the drain plug and try not to get oil everywhere. And then you start draining. I got a little bit on my hands, but that's where I take my towel and cover it and clean off my hands. And then you just let this drain out until it's just a very light trickle. It'll go on for a long time. So if you wanted to wait like 10-15 minutes, let it all drain out and come back. And then when it's done draining, you put the plug back in, and then you go over to the filter. Alright, one thing to keep in mind is your gasket. There's a little gasket that goes in between the plug and the oil pan, and sometimes it falls off into the oil like mine just did. So you're gonna have to fish around in the oil and find it, because if you don't have this gasket, it'll probably slowly leak. So what you're gonna do, there's still a little bit of oil in there, so you just gotta keep keep a rag close to you, ready. And put the gasket back on. And that is why I say wear rubber gloves, because oil usually gets everywhere. And then you're just going to torque that down to your specifications. I usually just get it snug. You don't want it too tight, but you don't want it loose so it comes loose. But I just snug it down. Alright, after you tighten that, then we're going to go to the filter. Alright, after you locate your filter, you're going to use your filter wrench. You're going to get it on there. And you're going to loosen it. And be sure to have your drain pan right below. And you drain it out. Now after it's all mostly drained out, you're going to take a paper towel, shop rag, t-shirt, anything, and you're going to clean the area where the oil filter gasket touches the housing right there. So I got just the old t-shirt, and it's okay if more oil leaks out. It's gonna continue anyways. Just make sure it's clean, make sure there's no dirt on it. Clean the threads where your oil filter screws on. And then we can go to getting the new oil filter on. So here's what we're going to do with the oil filter. You're going to take your new filter, you're going to take your oil, and you're going to not necessarily fill it up, just fill it about halfway full, because you are going to have to put it on with it angled. So what I like to do, put some paper towels down, you're going to put a little bit of oil inside it. Just like that. And you're going to take that dab of oil and you're going to rub it on the gasket. This prevents the gasket from twisting off and binding and falling off when you're going to put it on the vehicle. And then you're just going to roll so the oil filter gets completely saturated with oil. Because you just don't want to put an empty filter on there, because then it's not good for the motor. Some people say it doesn't hurt it, some people do. I'm just safe than sorry. Alright, and we're going to put this on the vehicle. Alright, so you're going to give filter housing one good wipe down, and then you're going to put your new filter on. And once it touches, you do 3/4 of a turn. So it's usually pretty snug. Sometimes I just like to get a little snug on there. Just like that. And now you're ready to put oil in it. So you're going to locate where you took your oil cap off. You're going to put your funnel in there. Make sure your funnel is clean, no dirt, no dust. And you got to look at your vehicle's specifications and capacity for oil. This certain vehicle takes 6.5 quarts of oil. So you're going to start filling it up. Then you use your old containers to put the old oil in, and then you can take it back to the auto parts store where you got it, and they recycle it for you. Alright, I'm going to finish putting the oil in, and then we're going to check the level. Alright, after you put, I like to put around 6 quarts. I know it takes 6.5, but I put 6 quarts in there, and then I always check, and then I'll keep going to fill it up all the way full. So you're going to put your oil in here, and then you're going to take the dipstick. You are going to clean it off. Put it back in, and you're going to check the level. This one is slightly over, but when you run your vehicle for the first few seconds, where the oil hasn't been, and the filter will fill up, so it'll lower a little bit. So we're going to put the cap back on. We're going to start it real quick. Couple things to watch for. See, start it up. Usually there's an oil light that'll be on, and it'll shut off after it gains pressure. You're going to go underneath. Go underneath and check for leaks. We have no leaks. Then you're going to shut it off again. And then we are going to check the oil again. Make sure it's at the right level. And once it's at the correct level, you are good to go. You just change your oil. Alright, thanks for watching. One last tip is to finish putting on, if you took a guard off, put the guard back on and just double check for leaks. And yeah, anything else, make sure the oil cap's on, dipstick's in, hood's closed, and then clean up any oil that's on the ground, because it's not good for the environment, because it's really bad for if it gets into the water and stuff. So alright, I think that's it. Thanks for watching.